What's up, zebras? If there's one thing that's really defined me over the past couple of years, it's my passion, dedication, and just need to learn and grow more, to have more growth and have more leadership in my life. The word leadership can mean many different things to many different people, and I'm kind of obsessed with what that word means to me, because I want to lead people, and really I want to lead myself. I want to be a great leader for me and for my family and for people around me, to inspire them to move myself into a new part of my life and move other people into new parts of their lives. And I think what happens here is whenever you get the impact that somebody's leadership gives you, you meet the right people online or in person, whatever that situation might be, and they inspire you to do more. Some people want to take that information and just grow themselves. And of course, that's what I have done as well. But also in that, hopefully you find out also, man, I want to give other people this information. Number one, because it's valuable, you can monetize it. Number two, because you want to also move other people forward. And if you listen to this from where I'm from, which is central Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania, I've lived there my entire life, okay? And I didn't realize the level of leadership that was in this town, the level of competency, of success that hides in pockets of this town that I live in, and I'm sure every single town in the United States of America and across the world. So the point of what I'm saying is, until you start to dive into leadership, make it a mindset, make it a part of your life, make it who you are, you won't start to see and find these other people that exist online and in person. These people are all around you. They're right under your nose, right where you live, and you don't even know it. So really, here's what I'm telling you all of this to tell you this, okay? February 28th of 2020, Blair County Convention Center in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I am hosting my first ever, my county, 3 counties actually. In 3 counties, the first ever leadership conference. It's called LIT, Leadership, Impact, and Technology. My thought process is, if you have great leaders who understand traditional classic leadership skills, classic marketing skills, apply those to new technology like social media, digital marketing, online advertising, you're going to create massive impact. You take the leadership plus the technology, you create the impact. That is what this conference is all about, helping you to grow your business, to expand your career, and to make more money, which can benefit everybody, you and everybody around you. That's why I am hosting, I am creating the first ever leadership conference, LIT, in my area. Get Lit is what it's all about. GetLitCon.com is the website. If you're not from the area, you can still get involved online. But if you are from the area of central Pennsylvania, find out the potential, find out the success, the leadership that is already in our area. GetLitCon.com. This episode, just like all episodes, are revolving around those 80,000 thoughts in your head. How can you replace them and get better thoughts in there? If you have the bad thoughts, you want them out, right? You have these repeating patterns that you live in every single day of your life. Some of us, most of the time, don't even realize it. I know I don't realize it half the time. When I catch myself, I'm like, wow. I need to wake up and I need to actively get new positive thoughts into my brain. That's what this podcast bases around. That's what this season is based around, with creating superheroes. Please, if you listen and you like it, subscribe, rate the podcast, review it on any platform you're on, tag somebody, take a screenshot, send it to me. Tell me where you got value on this podcast. That would be amazing. I would love to hear from you, and I would love if you spread the word of good things that you hear here, because all the information here, it's not my own. I've collected it from others, and I want to pass it on to you so you can pass it on to others. Let's go.
This is Rob Z Radio.
And on this episode, what do you do when you're out of motivation? What do you do when you're not feeling it? What do you do whenever you're feeling down in the dumps? I'm recording this right now because this just happened to me earlier, so I'm recording this. And my day had been, good, busy, but kind of cumbersome and a little bit stressful. And, this is what happens, these 80,000 thoughts, right? You get these recurring themes in your head. And I think one of the recurring themes in my head is that when I get myself stuck in my own spot, in my own space, doing my own thing by myself for too long, I start to play head games with myself. Not always, but it's usually when there's a framework of doubt build around what I'm doing. So maybe it's something I'm trying new, Maybe it's a part of my business that I haven't fully explored yet. I do this radio show called The Rob Z Show, okay? And The Rob Z Show, I'm just going to give you an idea of where my head is at today. The Rob Z Show is a weekday radio show. Monday through Friday, the show's on for 4 hours. But I just record, like, the show breaks. I just record the parts where I talk. The rest of the music and stuff all fills in on its own. So I do this all from my office, and I do it on my time, in my schedule, and it's really a beautiful thing that I'm building, because I love radio. I've been in it since I was 15 years old. It's something that I don't ever want to be out of, because it's like my creative center, and it's where you talk about me, where my superpowers lie in the world of radio. That's where my real superpowers lie. I have my 10,000 hours, and I know what's up when it comes to radio. So the point of what I'm telling you this is on Mondays at the start of the week, I'll record my whole week of shows in one batch. And this is another episode I'm gonna introduce later on about how to build systems into your life. I'm not perfect at it, but I have built one excellent radio system that is in my life. And whenever I do this on Mondays, if I get off track or I get a late start, it can be stressful. So that's what was happening. Is I got in here late, and I was recording not in my normal fashion. I was trying to speed through it, trying to just make it still sound good, but also speeding the process up because of time restraints. And it's a lot of recording. I mean, I'm recording 5 days worth of shows in a day. So I must be prepared and I must execute, which made me stressed out because I was behind. So I was feeling very stressed in here, and I was finding that, like, I was trying to be funny and clever and creative, and it's very hard to do those things when you're stressed. And at 3 o'clock, I had a meeting to go down and talk to another entrepreneur. He's actually downstairs, Michael DePiro, DePiro Entertainment. You can find him online, DePiro Designs, DEPIRO. And I've known Michael for a while. We're kind of on the same page as far as our career. He's going to be a part of LIT. He's going to be on stage at LIT and a sponsor of the event. And I had to get down and talk to him. And I thought, wow, this is a cramp in my schedule because I'm trying to get this show done, which added extra stress. But here's what happened when I went down and talked to him. We think alike. We talk alike. We're kind of on the same wavelength. And he's about a decade younger than I am. So he's even got, I feel like, more spark. I love talking to, like, really young 20-year-olds, but he's like an older 20-year-old. But the point is, he's got a lot of spark, and we get a great conversation going. And in that conversation, I said to him, I'm so glad that I came down here to talk to you today, because I wasn't feeling it. I was upstairs. I was stressed. I was trying to get a bunch of stuff done. I wasn't having fun. I was beating myself up. This is what I do, and it's a pattern. Going back to those 80,000 thoughts, I get caught in this pattern of, like, oh, you're behind. And it all comes back to not fulfilling the mission that I've set out for myself for that day or whatever it might be. Whenever you don't meet your own request or demand, that lowers your self-esteem and raises your stress. So whenever you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go do this thing today, and it's going to work this way, and that's how it's going to be. Like if you're going to wake up and go to the gym, right? Maybe you wake up kind of late and you maybe just work out at your house instead of going to the gym, or you skip it altogether. You're lowering your bar, you're lowering your self-esteem by doing that. That is what your self-esteem is built on. I'm just grasping that concept and really just trying to apply that to my life as often as I can. When I was talking to Michael DePiro, we were talking about the same thing. We're talking about the same concept of, like, when you are feeling burnout and you're feeling like you let yourself down, you didn't execute or accomplish something the way that you had initially set it out to be accomplished in your mind, and you start to go on this spiral. It's a thought spiral, and it happens to everybody, but I think it especially happens to new entrepreneurs. I'm 2.5 years into this. Michael's a little over 5 into this. So it's difficult for sure. It's a struggle for sure, because it's the long game. You're playing this long game over years, and compared to playing a short game, of where you're going to see results right away, even in a couple of months. Like when you're playing this long game, you've got years into the game, and it can be stressful. So how does talking to somebody else change everything? Tony Robbins always talks about state. And state is everything. So when I went down and I talked to Michael, it put me in a different state. It put me in a new state. It put me in a state of being fired up. And he got me fired up. We're talking about LIT. We're talking about business. We're talking about life and just how we execute and how we do what we do and the struggles we're having. And it was so nice to hear it from somebody else, because he has the same problems I do. And we all have similar problems, especially when you run your own stuff. It's like I have all these ideas. I have my hands in all these different things. I got to stay focused on the prize and on the goal. That's what I got to do. And you know, he's saying the same exact thing. The special part of life is when you start surrounding yourself with great people, when you start surrounding yourself with people that talk like you and people that are above you too, that you look up to, you're like, man, I want to be like that person. And then you build a relationship with them, and you're able to navigate that relationship, and you're able to have a good work-life balance, and you're able to see that like the people that are around you are really a reflection of who you are. Can you go to somebody when you're feeling down and you start talking and automatically get pumped right back up? If you have those people in your life, everything's going to change. If you have people in your life like that, that's how you can stay motivated. And this is a really common topic, and I've heard it talked about so many times. The 5 people you're closest to, you're going to reflect who they are and what they do and how they are, right? So if you're close to those people and their lives are shit, and I shouldn't say that, if their lives are not what you want and their lives are not what they want, and they complain and they beat themselves up and they put other people down, because those things all go hand in hand. If you're negative, it just breeds negativity. You just keep spreading it everywhere you go. But we sometimes think we have to be friends with these people because we've known them for so long, or they're family members and we have to be around them all the time. And that's not true. And I'm telling you all this because what has happened to me over the past 2.5 years is I know whenever I get into a funk, or I'm feeling funky, or I'm feeling off, I can go find, and I have a list now. 2.5 years ago, I didn't have a list. I maybe had like 1 or 2 people on that list, my wife and a friend perhaps, that I could go to who would make me feel reinvigorated with life. Now, and I actually sat down and wrote this list out a couple of weeks ago. There are about 40 people, and if I really wanted it to be a short list, I'd cut it down to about 20 people that I've met. And if I really wanted to cut it down, it'd be down to about 5 to 7 people that I've met over the past 2.5 years, that when I'm feeling a certain way, a certain funkiness around a certain thing, I can call them, text message with them, and within minutes be boom, brought right back up to where I need to be. My energy level goes right back up because that's where they are at all times. And also, I shouldn't say that. That's not where they're at all times. We put each other on that level every time. So maybe they're not on the level and I put them there. I'm not on that level and I put them there. It's the ability to be able to do that around those people, to find those people and to be putting yourselves in those situations. How do you find those people? That's a different story altogether. Okay, that's one that we all have to discover on our own, because we're all on different paths. We're all trying to find different things, different solutions in our life and move in certain directions. So the answer to that question might be a little more difficult. But I'm going to give you just a simple roadmap. Whoever you want to be like, or whatever life you want to have, whoever it is that you look up to, the career that you would love to be able to do on a daily basis, the kind of person you would want to be on a daily basis, if you start being that person more often, doing that thing, doing those tasks, whatever needs to be done to push you in the direction that you know you really want to be headed in for happiness and success. And when I say success, I mean that in all facets of life. I don't attach money to success. I mean, like, you're successful, like you are full of life and you're filling other people up with life, because that's going to generate everything that you need in life. But whenever you are living that truth of going towards that goal, these people are going to start to show up. And the less you do the stuff that you know you really want to do, like me doing this podcast right now, I'm on the ball right now, things are going to start coming to me. And I know that because I'm putting the energy out there. When I'm not doing it, when I don't release an episode for a month or whatever, I'm putting the brakes on. I'm stopping the whole thing. The kibosh is on it. You need the momentum and the consistency and the reps and sets. So start day by day. Take 10 minutes a day, or whatever that amount of time is. Start chipping away at that thing that you want oh so desperately. You want it oh so badly. You need to have it happen in your life. Chip away at it. And the pieces of the puzzle will start showing up, and some of those pieces are going to be people who start showing up in your life. That might sound ridiculous. That might sound like The Secret, the law of attraction, whatever, but it's just real, okay? And it's going to happen in ways that you can't predict, and that's a good thing, okay? I think I made my point, and to swing this whole thing back around. That's why I'm putting on this leadership conference, so that if you're from anywhere in Pennsylvania or anywhere in the world, wherever you're listening to this from, you can come to the LIT conference February 28th, 2020, Blair County Convention Center. The website getlitcon.com, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to show people in my area that these leaders do exist. You can find the mentor you need, or you can be the mentor for somebody else in life that you may not even have known existed. I want to create that bridge. I want to create that marriage of taking successful people, smart people, people who want to achieve, people who want to grow, people who want to make an impact, bringing them together into a room and just letting them find each other, letting them mingle, letting them realize this is not a networking event, it's not a trade show. This is a chance to fire people up, light a fire under my own ass, as well as everybody else who's in the room, and make sure that I'm connecting people to good people, so you know that there's good people in your area. And I guarantee this exists anywhere you go across the world. But I'm putting it on for Central Pennsylvania, getlitcon.com. Check out the website, robzradio.com. If you go there and you want to know my story, click that video, Who is Rob Z? Watch that video. You'll get an idea of who I am, what's my mission, why I'm doing this podcast, where we're going in the future, okay? robzradio.com. All of my social links are at the top. Please, if you listen to this and you like it, subscribe, review, leave a rating, tag somebody. Let people know about what's going on. And if you think I need to know about something, please message me, robzradio.com. We're slowly changing those 80,000 thoughts to good thoughts for me and for you. What's the superpower? What is it for you that's going to leave a huge impact, all right? I'll talk to you next time. Find those good people in your life.
This is Rob Z Radio.